let me go ahead and introduce the panelists for today. Swapna Shetty, who is a single parent and also an autism interventionist. Swapna, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Nusrat.
I've been following your work and I've been following how you've been trying to create awareness about autism, and you do that with so much of energy, and there's so much of positivity, optimism and pride that I see, and I want all of us to be proud of this. So I would want to know, as a parent, as an autism interventionist, when we talk about child sexual abuse and the vulnerability of these specially abled kids or specially determined kids, what are the struggles and what do you think are the community responses, or what are the responses of the parents per se with respect to child sexual abuse and special kids?
First of all, good evening, everyone. So, I want to highlight that the concerns when a parent of a special child or a parent of a neurotypical child, the concerns are the same, but the journey is a lot difficult and different. I have been hearing a lot about regular schools, pediatricians, we have doctors, we have principals, we have teachers. But I am thankful to Cactus Foundation that they have chosen me to highlight what it is with the disability sector. So children with special needs, mainly physical or mental disability, are more susceptible to child sexual abuse than others. That's my opinion, because of the increased dependence on the caregivers. And also, I feel that the inability to understand and to report abuse. And I am an autism interventionist, so I'll highlight giving an example. My child is on the spectrum. So autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder where the child's communication and social interaction is affected. So when we are talking about that, my child needs to tell me that he is not liking a touch or he's uncomfortable with someone's presence, the main core skill to do that is affected with children in autism, and that becomes really very difficult for them to, as an educator, for me to make them understand, to teach them. Also, they have a lot of sensory problems. So I would have a child who doesn't like being touched. So whenever if someone is touching him, he'll shout, he'll cry, he'll retaliate. At the same time, I'll have a child who loves being hugged, who loves being kissed, who loves deep pressure given to his body because that is his body's need. So these children are more, they'll find themselves in a situation where they will start liking the inappropriate touch without even knowing that someone is, abusing them sexually. Also, as a parent, I want to highlight that when you come to know about that your child is diagnosed with a disability, there's a lot of mixed emotions. There's denial, there is pressure from family, there's this guilt that maybe it might be because of me. Am I a bad parent that my child is being diagnosed? So sometimes these crucial things as to child safety, child sexual abuse are not on the priority list of parents when they are working with their children. And hence, I feel that whenever I come in contact with parents of special needs kids, it is the responsibility of the professionals like doctors, teachers, to make the parents also understand that these are the things you have to teach them right from the beginning, so that they'll have a secure, safe life afterwards. Because most of the parents with disability are more focused on attending therapies like speech therapy, occupational therapy, where the goals of the parents are much different than what the topic we are talking about. So hence, there should be a joint, I feel there should be a professional unit where the parents are sensitized, the parents are taught techniques, through which the parents can help children with special needs prevent all these in a safe atmosphere. So, in which parental counseling is of utmost importance, and parental counseling is talking about not only talking about child sexual abuse but inappropriate touches. Today's kids are more exposed to internet, so on pornography, and the main issue I feel is parents should be sensitized that it's okay if your child is exploring his body parts. It's normal. It's normal if your child is masturbating, because due to the different cultures we have, it is that the parents will stop these children, and then that will result in the child demonstrating such inappropriate social behaviors outside, which is more dangerous. So I guess that is what I feel, that parental counseling is of utmost importance, so that the parents can tackle with the situation if they are faced with one, can guide their children in a more appropriate way and a better way. So, yes.
Thank you, Swapna. And I think what Swapna is trying to, she's brought in a very important point of collaboration. There's a lot of collaboration. There is a lot of interdisciplinary collaboration that is needed. Now, Swapna is saying that we need it only for the special kids. But I think by the end of this chat show, you will realize, why do we need collaboration, or is it just for the specially able kids or others?